Welcome to Being Confident from Within with Natalie Potts, the podcast that shares what it really takes to be confident. I'm passionate about helping people grow businesses with confidence. Does it seem like everyone around you is naturally confident and sure of themselves? Well, the chances are they have self-doubts just like you. I'm in conversations with inspiring individuals to share what confidence means to them and to help you find ways to believe in yourself and create confidence at any time. So welcome, Naomi. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's kick off with you sharing all about yourself and what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. This is my second time on your podcast.
I
obviously love it. Thank you for having me again. So I am a life and mindset coach. I help women find their purpose and then tap into their inner confidence to actually create the purpose once they find it.
Amazing. And I know you do amazing stuff. I love what you do. Share with us what confidence means to you.
So confidence to me means knowing that you do have what it takes to create what you want to create. It's a step by step, knowing you can turn inside and outside and keep moving forwards in the way that you want to. It's about being aligned with yourself, no matter what the outside noise is.
I love the point. I'm going to pick up 2 points there. Knowing, break that down more for me, because I love that idea. And I think you're the first person to say it, where it's been in my head because I heard it a month ago. What's important about the relationship between knowing and confidence?
Yeah. So because I don't think that confidence is a continuous state.
Yeah.
I think people can have different levels of confidence depending on the situation they're in. It's the underriding and underpinning belief that you know you're okay. And I think that's the words, you're okay.
Yeah, that it is interesting, isn't it? And you say their levels of confidence. My friend Dan on the podcast, who was in this week, he also shared about that and the idea of levels of confidence as well. Very much coming from in terms of, I guess, childhood. And we debated a bit about, he said, were you born with it? You're not born with confidence and things like that. And we explored that a little bit in terms of there are some things that are kind of our DNA and in us, that we are very different on some things. And it's not always influenced by our environment, our parents, our upbringing and that type of thing. And it is just sometimes who we are as such. And it's just interesting to explore that maybe there's no right and wrong with this. This is what I love about this one word, can bring a wealth of thoughts and knowledge with it and ideas. And that's where it becomes really interesting.
It opens up a massive conversation, doesn't it? Because like you say, we're born with different skills, capabilities, then we are born into different environments where we form different beliefs. And I think sometimes people feel like they have to have confidence in different areas.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can waste time and energy feeling like you've got to have that. If you're confident, that means you're confident in every area. Well, there's some areas that you probably don't need to focus time and attention on. So it's just knowing that what you want to create and what is aligned for you is meant for you, and you having the confidence to then pursue that consistently.
Yeah. And what's great about that is, like you said, that we don't have to be confident everywhere. And I guess I'm seeing that a bit more now, that actually then what if you were to break it down somebody where you want to be more confident, how do you go about that process? Like you say, what are the step by steps you need to take to get the knowledge, to get the experience, to then, which creates that cycle of then you get confident in something when you got those, and you've got maybe the belief as well around you from others and in yourself as well. It's interesting. Where would you like to be more confident?
So for me, it always comes back to my mindset, having that mindset that knows that I can be confident where I want to be. You're speaking and I'm listening and I'm going, it's chicken and egg.
It is.
It doesn't just happen. It happens as you do it. So for me, the area where I really do focus a lot of time and energy is my business, because my business is my purpose.
Yeah.
And so knowing that I have the confidence to carry out my purpose is well worth the time, energy, money investment for me.
Mm. And it's interesting because I was speaking to somebody earlier today on a podcast about this idea that when you love something and love what you do, you know, you're actually more confident because your purpose and things. And I guess I find that I was talking about the fact that when I can walk in a room and feel, you know, like you own the room as such, and being comfortable, but it's not necessarily as black and white as that. And it's not, because there are areas of my business where I'm not confident in, even though I love it, or I think, you know I love it, but that's because I simply don't have the experience and knowledge there. So that makes me more nervous, I guess. And that's the part. I also know that when I was working in previous career, that I was probably super confident because I knew everything inside out. I knew how to get results, and I knew what, you know, like if somebody said something, I was like, would you do this and you get that? Which meant that I never stepped out my comfort zone really. And that's what I didn't like. And I think that that's a part that I think sometimes this idea that there's this quiet confidence as well. It doesn't have to be in your face, extrovert, big, intense all the time.
Yeah.
And it is like you share about that step-by-step part.
Yeah. I think you've really hit on something important there, that you were confident in your job before because you had a lot of knowledge in that area.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree. Knowledge will give you so much confidence, and rightly so, because you're not going to be confident in areas where you have little or no knowledge. Why would you be confident there? However, when we then step out of those comfort zones and we do something else, I think that's where you have to be strongly connected to your purpose or your reason for wanting to do something, that you can then tap into confidence, because you've got a strong reason why you need to almost put yourself through whatever it is you need to show up and be confident for.
Yeah. Who is someone that has maybe some of the confidence you'd like, or confidence where you just think it's very natural?
So for me, it's many different thought leaders around the world. Predominantly female ones that I tend to look up to. There are some male figures in there also. And it's women that have got a strong purpose or desire or reason for what it is that they do. And they consistently take bold action towards creating their own success. And a lot of these women that I look up to are doing what they do to help other people as well.
Yeah. Well, they say the secret to living is giving, don't they?
I like that. I don't know if I've heard that before.
I'm sure it's a Tony Robbins one. And there's a guy, Bob Berg, he has I think it's called The Go-Getter. It's all about giving book, you know, and it's a phenomenal read as well. And that idea of serving people, which, and we know that is absolutely true to what we do. And yeah, I think that definitely is where I feel I'm confident, because I know what I'm talking about with that area, and then you just got to master it. So then I guess you have a bit of a belief that even if you're not as confident in it, you can get there.
Yeah. So I love when you talk about different books that you've read. Yeah. And for me, it goes back to being in the right environment. So whether it's we have a great relationship with each other, and we're lucky enough to be able to see each other physically, speak on WhatsApp a few times a week with each other. So being in the environment of people who are also tapping into their confidence, and then maybe you're not as lucky as you and I to be surrounded by people that have the type of confidence you want to create and foster. It's then that you can look at maybe these bigger thought leaders that are putting books out there and podcasts like this, that you can still tap into their energy, because the values that you see in them that you like are the values that are within inside yourself as well. It's just they're a little bit further on down the road than you might be at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really important. I was on one of the earlier podcasts. Somebody said they've never really had a mentor as such, and actually, when you could challenge that with them, that they, like you said, that even asking that question to there, who inspires you, who might be famous or someone different, and just people that are more we'd know about them as such. They can, but I always say that Gary Vee's a mentor in my life, because things he shares and how he does, I follow and I love. And what would be the difference in me seeing him once a week versus just following the stuff and what he says?
Yeah.
It is, and that's where when people go, well, I don't know where to start and I'm not sure what to do, and I couldn't invest in that. It's like, there is so much out there. It's you changing your mindset to see that you can create that. And especially I, like yourself, have a very good network around me and positive people. But when I started coaching in 2015, I didn't. I had constant people who said, why would you want to do that job? Or what, you're going to just ask people questions? Well, you're not going to leave your job, are you? Why would you do that? Or how are you going to get money? How are you pay for this? How you pay? And it's like all those bloody limiting thoughts, beliefs, their beliefs, not my beliefs. And after a while, I got a bit bored, to be honest, hearing it and thinking, all you're doing is pulling me back. You're a nice enough person. I don't actually think everybody in the world is nice. I know that's tough, but it's true. Some people's intention isn't always good. I like to think it is, but people aren't always nice. And sometimes if people around you are pulling you back or holding you down, in terms of what you believe and what you want to do, you need to slowly, over a period of time, it doesn't have to be cut instantly, but just say, you're not for me. And this isn't serving me. And it is bloody tough. Or the other side is you have to learn how to manage that relationship.
Yeah. And it takes confidence to do that.
Yeah.
It takes confidence just to know that they're spewing all their limited beliefs onto you.
Yeah.
When it's done in that way, like you say, whether it's a person that means well or actually they're not a nice person, it's not helpful advice. That's not mentoring. That's not the kind of direction that you want to be setting your focus in. And it takes confidence to be able to drown out that noise and turn back inside to what you actually truly want and what your purpose is to move forward.
So it's really interesting. You said in the space of short time together today, you said noise twice.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you in relation to confidence?
Okay, yeah. So there are a lot of people in every industry that will shout very loudly about this is the only way to do something because it's worked for them.
Yeah.
And that to me is noise.
Okay.
Now, I don't actually find it easy. This may come as a surprise to people who know me. I actually don't find it easy to just go with what I think. Okay. And I think a lot of humans feel the same way.
Yeah.
So anything outside of you that may be great advice, that maybe has worked for somebody else and maybe will get you some results, if it doesn't feel right to you, it's knowing you have the confidence to find another path without getting too caught up that, oh my God, that person that's shouting the loudest and looks very successful and is further ahead than me, if I don't do it their way, then I'm going to fail. I'm not going to succeed. So that to me is outside noise.
I think it's an amazing reflection and it's very powerful, and it's also spot on that because actually people that are very confident will have often very strong purpose and, like you say, then conviction that, well, you have to do it this way, and don't have the awareness and they can't be objective in the same way, and sometimes as understanding, because they just think it's their way or highway. And that is really important to look at it. That I say this phrase sometimes, that you've got to make it work for you in some way, how that is. People say just do you, and it doesn't sit with me as well, that saying. It can for some people, but make it work for you. That, and I mean, what I mean by that is that it might not be at the moment, it might be a not for now type of thing, and no for now, but your intentions, you're on the right path. You just might want to go a little bit more up and down the path or left and right maybe back a step or two to go forward 5 steps. I don't, everyone's like all the time, just keep going forward every day, never go back. I'm like, sod that. Like, I go back all the time.
Hourly.
So, like we say, sometimes we feel we have a down day, and then the other person goes, it's a down week, and then someone else goes, it's a down month.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point. It's not as quick as, like you said earlier, we cannot just, I think we were sharing it just before, and that's this part about the vulnerability and confidence, that sometimes it's just bloody tough, and it doesn't take away that you're not confident in an area. You're just finding it bloody tough. And like you share, that's the importance of the mindset and the knowing yourself really well, of actually, how do I have that awareness to go, I need to change this, or I need the help of these people around me, I need to check in with this mentor, I need this support, in terms of moving forward. But it is, and again, that part, like we said, don't listen to everybody, drown out the noise, that you can go back. Just because Joe Blogg says you can't go, of course you can go backwards and go forwards, it's life. But don't get so far off the track that you're going to really struggle to think, why am I doing this? And you argue against your why as such. I think that's a different area.
That's why it's really important to get that clear. And I know for me personally, and for my clients, sometimes you do have to realign back.
Yes.
What that purpose was. That might sound crazy, but this is why people have their purpose up on their walls, as their laptop screensaver, as something they tap into, because it's not always easy. And sometimes you can lose your purpose.
I love it. When I said purpose, I just see like your eyes light up. It's like, ooh, that's my thing. Great, like you talk about your thing, like with passion, and again, that's something, when you confident area, your energy state's very different, isn't it?
So different. Yeah. There's no point, in my experience, going after something that you just don't really want.
No, I agree. So kind of to wrap up then for today, who has been your best mentor and why?
Okay. This is such a hard question, because I have been extremely lucky in people that have just been in my life.
You've also created that too.
Yes. Okay. I'll take that. So if I have to whittle it down for one, for the purpose of this question, then it would be Nikki V.
Okay.
Because
she's explain to people.
Nikki V is a relationship coach. And when I met her, she was doing relationship coaching. She was also running a company called Master Coach, which helps people train up to be a coach and get clients. She's also the mother of Nick James.
Yeah.
So Nikki V is probably my best and favorite mentor, because she saw in me what I hadn't yet seen in myself fully. So she really helped build my knowing, and she really helped me find my purpose. And even now, still years later, I know that I can reach out to her at any point, and she can just spend 30 minutes with me and really help me in that time. And she was actually my first real coaching client. So to have your mentor that you've looked up to for a lot of years then say you're the person that needs to coach me at the moment was like, wow.
Yeah. And that's the power in relationships as well, isn't it? And business and everything. And again, seeing people, we say it, all the time, but as a human as such, and in really giving out. And I was sharing out with somebody today about it, like, how do I create clients? It's like, God, you just see it so matter of fact. Like, invest in the fact that it's people, and just show up yourself and true to you. And somebody shared today actually on the podcast that being authentically you is key to them around confidence.
Love it. Because being authentically you is you being aligned to you and your purpose. I love that.
Yeah. On that note, how can people connect with you, Naomi?
So you can find me over on the Instagrams. I am at Naomi's_coaching. And you can also find me on Facebook in the Female Empowerment Community, which is my free group.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Being Confident from Within. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it inspired you in trusting no matter what happens in any particular situation, you'll be able to handle it and learn from the outcome. I really love hearing from you, so please leave a review and let me know which part of the episode resonated with you the most. Have an amazing day.